have found the Genesis frequency. This is Dr. Stephen J. Kazmina welcoming you in to another episode of a show that focuses on your whole life prosperity and success. Whole life prosperity and success by cooperating with the universal laws that are available to each and every one of us. This is Quantum Leap Goal Achievement, radical personal transformation, whole life prosperity and success. Now, stay tuned for another exciting episode that'll move the needle in your life from where you are now to where you want to be.
And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it may be, wherever you are in the world. When you hit that play button, so glad you did. This is the Genesis Frequency Podcast, and I am Dr. Cause and Effect, Dr. Stephen J. Kazmina, coming at you with another show here that has set the intention to make a difference in your life. And the difference that I really, really hope I make is to share something that has worked in my life through my wisdom gained that I've applied, taken action on, and it has helped me make a quantum leap in my life, moving me from where I am closer to where I want to be, whatever my goal may be at the time, whatever my dream is. What is yours? What is your big dream goal? In the last episode, I talked about acting as if. Did you do that? Share with me, reach out to me, put it in the comments section wherever you're listening. I want to hear those stories. We have to move into the energy as if that is our reality. We have to move into it as our present tense experience. So when I did that episode, I said I wanted to back up from that a little bit and go into thought and thinking. So many of these episodes, I talk about thought and thinking. And this isn't a show about positive thinking. That's not what I'm getting at. What I want to talk about is it's just thought, period. Because you've heard me say over and over again, the formula is always thoughts plus feelings plus actions equals results, right? And I talk about those as a group. I talk about those as one, and we really should when we're talking about thoughts. We should be talking about thoughts slash feelings if we were to write it down, because they really go hand in hand. But I don't think I spend enough time just talking about thought. And I'm preparing for another talk I'm doing somewhere else, and I was really thinking about this because in my studies and reading and research and everything I've done, I don't think we stop and realize that we have been given this dominion. We have been given this power to think a thought. And I think in this busyness of life and living and this attention span that we have that's getting shorter and shorter and shorter, right? I think sometimes we forget to stop, to hit that pause button, to take a deep breath, to be mindful and move into the present moment and really become aware of this power we've been given. Now, I often talk about power too, and I teach and I share that power really is our awareness that we always have a choice, our ability to make a decision to decide, our ability to set an intention that's based on that decision. Yeah, this is the way I'm going. And commitment, a commitment to that intention. That is my personal definition of what power is. But let's back up from that a little bit because I am Dr. Cause and Effect, right? I always I always go back to cause. So if we would look at power and we would look at an awareness that we always have a choice, well, what precedes that? What choice do we have? We can make a choice to choose a different thought, to choose our next thought. And if we are aware that to be creative, to manifest a different experience of something, we would lock in those feelings with that thought, those feelings, those emotions. But we have a choice. Every moment we can choose the thoughts we think, regardless of our experience in the outer world of form or what's going on inside us. We can choose the thought we think. We have the ability to choose the thoughts. We've been given this. We are humanity, and we have been given the ability to think thoughts and choose thoughts. Now, so often we don't do that. I mean, look around you and you can tell that, well, a lot of people just don't really spend any time thinking about their choice when it comes to thoughts. Now, I don't want to get into being critical and judgmental and all that stuff. So let's just talk about your thoughts. We get annoyed and we get aggravated. We can choose to not respond. We can choose to think about the experience and then have a thought about it. Talk about blending those thoughts with feelings, right? We can make the choice to have a thought about responding or reacting, and many oftentimes inappropriately, to the experience that we just had that was upsetting. But the bottom line is what I'm getting at is we still have the ability to choose our thoughts. And that's very, very powerful. And I know it's basic and it's elementary, but it's first cause. Spend some time pushing away from media, social media, TV, radio, everything else. Just go into the silence. Wayne Dyer said, everything that's created comes out of silence. Your thoughts emerge from the nothingness of silence. Your words come out of this void. Your very essence emerged from emptiness. All creativity requires some stillness. Again, that's Dr. Wayne Dyer, the late Dr. Wayne Dyer. But we know that our thoughts are creative. Thoughts are real things. Are thoughts are things. And you are the product of your thoughts. So what are you thinking about? You get to choose. What are you thinking about? I often say, and I can't say it enough, that we have 40 to 60,000 thoughts a day. And I know that number's all over the place depending on who and what you Google. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's half that or double that. That's a lot of thoughts. It's a lot of thoughts that we have every day. And for most of us, those 40 to 60,000 thoughts or whatever the number is are the same thoughts that we had yesterday and the day before. So as I talk about paradigms and habits and programming and what we do and in productive activity and non-productive activity, we have to recognize that our thoughts are habitual as well. And what I'm inviting you to do really through this particular episode is to notice your thoughts, to be aware of your ability to choose a thought because your thought is creating your experience. Your thought is creating the world you live in, the experience of the world you live in. A man or woman is the product of their thoughts. What are you thinking about? We do indeed become what we're thinking about, what we're holding in thought. Is it any thought? No, but it's thoughts that are strongly tied to feeling and emotion. Think about that. Each individual, each individual has that dominion, has that power over thought, and therefore over emotions and passions. So you have to be aware of this. You have to realize too that the way that these thoughts are firing, we have a thought, there's a gap, we have another thought, gap, and in that nanosecond of a gap, we're making a choice. See, this is where that my definition of power comes in, because we will have a thought. Maybe it's a random thought. Maybe we have an emotional reaction to something that we saw or heard in the outer world. Or maybe a new thought was downloaded from inspiration we received sitting in the silence. Either way, in that gap, in that nanosecond of a gap, we choose to continue with, I guess the language we would use this day and age would be we continue in that train of thought, or we choose to abandon that thought and move on to another one. So, in becoming aware of this, you can see how your thought is habitual, and you can become more aware that you have a choice. Here's a thought. Is this something that feels good? Do I want to continue in the direction where this thought may take me? Do I want to take this thought and build on it and think more about this thought itself? Do I want to contemplate this thought, spend time with this thought, move into the silence in that space where I receive more inspiration as I hold this thought? Do I want to abandon it? What feelings and emotions are tied to this thought? Like good, healthy, positive feelings and emotion? Is this charged with love and anticipation and all those things that are filling us with zeal when it comes to considering our goals and our dreams and what we're passionate about? Or is this a thought that it just doesn't feel good? I'm having this thought, and it feels like it's an emotional thought based in anger. That's something I want to move away from because the thought creates our experience. You have to understand this. You have to realize that thoughts are things. And that's why when we talk about cause and effect, we have to be very deliberate in our thinking. We have to recognize those thoughts that are not supportive and abandon them, brush them away, and make the choice. Stand in your power and make the choice to think a different thought. Have a new thought tied with feeling. Think thoughts that make you feel good. So I think I can't really say too much more of it. I mean, I can give you quote after quote from the beginning of time that all the great philosophers have told you this. What is that one by Marcus Aurelius? What is that one? I love that one. I'll see if I can find that one while we're still have time here. But if we would really just become more aware of it during our day, that we have the power to make a choice and we can think, choose the thoughts. And you would be astonished the people that are not aware of this. I was in a seminar one time and there's a lady in there. She's like, "Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I can choose the thoughts I think?" This was like the light bulb was going out, and good for her. But as you might be thinking that, well, this is very basic and this is very elementary. Well, it is, but it's cause and effect. And people don't, in this day and age and in this busy life, they don't take the time to stop and think about this. They don't take the time to take the personal responsibility and say, what's showing up is because the way I've been thinking and feeling about it. My thoughts and my feelings and my emotions have produced this result in my life, and I don't like it. And if you don't like it, and you don't like those results, and you don't like what's showing up, and you don't like what you're producing, you have the ability to think a different thought that you do like. How do you want it to look? How do you want to feel? What do you want to show up? Don't go kicking around the results and the experience you don't want to have and trying to mold and shape that, because that's effect. That is not cause. You have to go back to cause. And the cause is the thought and the feeling. The thought and the feeling. Hmm. James Allen said, "You are today where your thoughts have brought you. You will be tomorrow where your thoughts take you." Where do you want to go? This is so important. And I know I'm just saying the same thing over and over and over again and spending this whole show doing it because we have to get this. And whatever, it doesn't matter if you have a big dream goal that you're working on or you're in between and you're just considering what you want to do the next quarter or the next year or the next week or the next month or whatever it is. Wherever you are in life, this applies to you. Whether you're working on a big dream goal or not, you think thoughts and you've been given dominion over those thoughts. You've been given the power to choose the thoughts you think. And the thoughts you think, wrapped with feeling and emotion, produce the experience that you have. This is how you magnetize your condition. This is how you attract favorable conditions, circumstances, people, and events. This is how you send a message to your subconscious mind. This is how you activate the reticular activating system in your brain to notice those things that are supportive of what you want to experience in your life. So I can't drive this home enough. And this applies to you if you are a human being. So therefore, it applies to you as an individual, in your small business, as an entrepreneur, in your corporate environment, on your corporate team, in your nonprofit organization or any organization that you're involved in your ministry, whatever you are doing. And we can go deeper into thought because we can talk about collective consciousness, collective thought, meaning the group. And then we go down that path. Now we're talking about corporate culture. What is the thought about the company? And and you have to look at this. You have to look at cause. So many people say, well, we sat in the boardroom and we decided that this is our corporate culture and we declared it and we put it in a document and we want it to trickle down. It Each individual is thinking a thought. So you have to go to work on the collective thought. And that's what I can help you with. I come in and reach out. Let's have a conversation. We'll continue down this path of thought and feeling and emotion because we have to. If you want to make an impact on what's showing up in your life, if you want to influence your experience in the world that you're living in, do this. This is your homework. Remember, each and every show, you have a call to application, applying it in your life, and taking action on that application. Okay, here's where I'm going to apply this, and I'm going to take action in this way. You have to identify it. That's the work. You're getting this. This is tremendous value in this. And again, I know I've gone on and on for 20 minutes about thinking a thought that creates the world you're living in, but that's true. It's molding and shaping your experience. All cause is in that space, in the realm of consciousness, in mind. And you get to choose the thought. Wow. Reach out. Let's talk about this more. This is so important. Grasp cause at its very basic elemental level. For you as an individual, small business owner, in your corporate environment, wherever you may be, C-suite executive, consumer facing team player, doesn't matter, ministry, organization, nonprofit. Let's have a conversation about this. Let's go deeper. Let's make a choice how we can really make an impact and influence performance, productivity, goal realization, dream building, all of the above, profitability, efficiency. Can't say it enough. Reach out. Successappointment.com gets you on my calendar. Stephen with a PH, Stephen at successocean.com is my email. Reach out. Let's have a conversation. I'm also looking for individuals, leadership development consultants. If you are interested in making personal, professional leadership development a way of life and move into this lucrative field, also reach out. Use one of the same ways to reach out and let's have a conversation. That's going to do it. That's going to do it. I went on for 20 minutes talking about thought, but hopefully you got it. I'd like to hear back from you. Just hear something, put something in the comments, share this episode, tell people about this. We have to think more thoughts. We have to deliberately think thoughts, not just move through our day like that steel ball in a pinball machine, bouncing off and reacting to everything that we hear, everything that comes at us, everything that other people do, everything the other driver does, everything the boss says, everything we see on TV. We're that steel ball. We have to enter into the silence and just allow ourselves to think thoughts and make a deliberate choice. What thought are we going to continue to work with that's going to produce the outer results that we want to experience? We're going to talk about that. We're going to move away from thoughts of lack and limitation and worry and doubt and fear because we're choosing all those thoughts too that are aligned with those things. Why in the world would you want to do that? Thoughts of worry. Worry is really a prayer for what you don't want to happen to come true in your life. We'll keep going down this road a little bit more to say about it, more for you to think about so you can apply it, take action in your life so you can change your experience and what's showing up for you as results. For now, you've been listening to the Genesis Frequency Podcast with me, Dr. Cause and Effect, Dr. Stephen J. Cosmina, and I wish for you an infinitely spectacular day. God bless you.